about now.
In preparing for this really cool sail to Cuba, we figured we better go over some boat safety procedures and even practice a man overboard drill.
If we don't know you've fallen off, oh yeah, that's definitely the case. Yeah. And then you're also working with a bunch of amateur sailors, so that's right. Don't risk it.
Kenny? Oh my God! Man overboard!
Man overboard! Lauren, keep an eye on him!
I got him! He's gonna throw.
After catching some fish, sitting around, getting used to the boat, then we headed back into the marina for the debriefing. And after the captain's briefing, we sail out at midnight because the wind is not, like earlier today when we did a little mini shakedown cruise, it wasn't that much. So we're gonna go ahead and sail out at midnight. I'm so excited.
Tell us.
Well, we are on our way to Cuba. We just set our sails and it's our, let's see, our first overnight, first time to Cuba, first time to really sail our own boat. Motors are off. We're sailing. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
This is wild. I do enjoy this.
So Bob's pretty excited about putting the spinnaker up today. I think, as my kids would call it, this is an epic fail.
Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there will wind.
Pulling into Hemingway Marina was a successful feeling, knowing that we had completed our first overnight and 90 miles. The officials were there ready to take our temperatures and drink our beer and check us in and gladly take our bribe money. Our other boating friends came over and they were happy to drink our beer as well and discuss what in the world we were going to do with the mess that we were in with this spinnaker.
Bob, what do you think? We're headed in the right direction.
It's coming.
I'm not
The whole thing is just too funny.
Drinks in our place.
The next morning we woke to a beautiful sunrise. Travis and Kenny washed the boat, Amy made some breakfast, and we were off to find a taxi to exchange some money for kooks, the Cuban currency, and to get to Old Town Havana.
Small cab, 6 people. We're going to downtown Havana, Old Town Havana.
After we exchanged our money, we celebrated with a round of Cuba Libres to celebrate the arrival of being in Havana. Entering Old Town Havana was pretty neat, a place we never thought we would really go. We walked around for a while, seeing what the local vendors had to offer. Cuban military hat was on the list, and of course, the traditional Cuba fedora hat that Lauren and I eventually found after lunch. Lunch was crazy yummy. As soon as we walked in, we saw a pina colada they were making for someone else and knew we had to have one. We ordered the traditional gyro with chicken and homemade fried potato chips. It was really, really good. We found quickly that people were incredibly nice to us there. Yes, we were American and we were spending tourism dollars, but this guy was a local artist who went out of his way to take us out of his gallery to help us find a good place for lunch. We continued on our exploration of Old Havana. Everything we had learned about in the documentaries that we watched before going to Cuba were true. Some of the buildings looked like they just stopped maintaining them back in the 60s. It was a really unique experience to see buildings that were all but crumbling to other areas that had been maintained and were pretty nice. What was also kind of cool is we kept getting a weird vibe of similarities to other places we've been. The pastel painted buildings reminded us of the Windward Islands. And the long, narrow, winding streets reminded us of being in Rome, Italy. And one thing I did not expect to see was Cuba's own Chinatown. We headed back to the marina and were just amazed as we continued to see all these gorgeous cars passing us. Here's where we learned that they needed to see us Americans for this taxi driver to be able to enter the marina. We also later found out that they couldn't even step on our boat legally, even if we invited them to. Next up, get ready for our first night out in Cuba.
Don't wake me now.
2, 3, 4.
This is gonna be the best day of my life.
We hope you liked the video. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Visit us on Facebook or even our website. Stay tuned for our second video. See what Kenny and Bob do and a wild rum tasting night.